So to catch up on last week just a little bit, we started the Advent season in the dark, and we learned a couple of things. We learned that we know the refrains of a lot of Christmas songs, and we don't know all the verses, which is interesting. Just interesting. We know that being in the dark made us all be a little bit more quiet. That was intriguing. Usually we're kind of rambunctious in the morning in a great way. We're subdued. And we use that darkness to represent the 98% of people in Rwanda who have no electricity. And we thought it was kind of hard. Now, the one thing I didn't do, because I know how to mind my P's and Q's just a little bit, I did not use the electricity for coffee. Because that I was really debating. And we did use that, so that was okay. But 98% of people in rural Rwanda have no electricity. And so we sort of joined with them. And that's sort of what we see here. How we can join with people who don't have electricity and things that they have. I spoke of a son that was born to a community. An emphasis on community. That son was to get gifts from us. And that son was a gift for us. Spoke about a long-awaited son, whom we know to be Jesus and on whom we rest all of our hope. All of our hope of a future, our hope of forgiveness, our hope of new life, we rest it all on that Son. And then in communal efforts, we gathered as beacons of light, as hope for the world. Now, if you're following the World Vision Advent devotional that I've been putting out, you know that this week is centering on love. That's what this week is all about, which is great that we can use that. Specifically, this week centers on the love of God and how that love transforms us to love others. Because sometimes it's hard to love other people, isn't it? Come on. It is. It's difficult. But by the transformational love of God, we can love other people. Here's an example. Everybody who has emails got this email from me after Sue Marks and I had talked about this last Sunday about a group of people who live on Winnebago Street in their campers and cars and trucks because they have no home. All right? And we knew that we needed some chili and some bread and some milk and water and blankets and all sorts of other things. And I sent that email off probably at 5 o'clock, and I shut my computer down, and I just wasn't going to look at it because I sent it off on a Wednesday and I was tired. And I came home, and Mel said, "Do you realize how many responses you have to that?" I was like, "I have no idea." Well, like within 2 hours, there were 14 responses immediately. And that shows me love. That shows me a God who has transformed hearts into going out and loving people who you have no idea who they are and might be a little bit scared of. That's the transformational love of God. So on that, if you didn't get this email, next Sunday instead of Adult Ed, we're going to be heading on down there. Not everybody has to go, but you can bring in stuff. That would be awesome. And some of us will go down and we'll have lunch. Okay? And we have some flyers, and so I'm going to take those down this week so they know to stick around. Okay? And I imagine we'll have quite a party down there. It'll be a good time. God's love is a love that transforms us to love others, and God's love came to us in the person of Jesus. And as we do actions of love, people begin to see reflections of God. what Cynthia read says that love is how people see God in the world. So I was recently told a story that's been around in Jewish tradition for years and years and years and years. And I never could find the story, but then I found it in an article that happened to be about Rwanda. Can you hit this slide? And here's the story. A rabbi once asked, what's the exact moment in time when night becomes day, when dark becomes light? And his students and children started guessing, and one of the answers was when you can tell the difference between an olive tree and a fig tree. That's when darkness and light have changed. And the rabbi said, no. So another student said, well, I think it's when, from a distance, you can tell the difference between a sheep and a dog. And the rabbi said, no. The exact moment of time when darkness becomes day and when night becomes day and darkness becomes light is a moment in time when you can look on the face of a stranger and call them brother or sister. Get the next one. When you can see past hurts and differences, feuds and grievances, and sex and social class and sexual orientation, and just see a brother or a sister in the eyes of love, that's when light breaks into darkness. The man on the left, his name is Innocent. He murdered 5 people in the 1994 genocide in Rwanda, including Gaspard's older brother. Gaspard is on the right. What they have written across their arms is love is the weapon that destroys all evil. That's pretty amazing. Have a murderer and the family of the person who was killed stand together, united, saying, love is the weapon that destroys all evil. And you cannot tell me that those smiles are fake. Those are real. That's when authentic love bursts forth and God is unleashed into the world. The text that we heard today from Cynthia and from 1 John chapter 4 says, no one has ever seen God, but if you love one another, God lives in us, and His love is perfected in us. As authentic love is shared and shown, people see God. People see God. It takes love to sponsor a kid from World Vision. It takes love to sponsor a light for a kid or a family that you may never see use it. It takes love to make a bowl of chili. It takes love to bring in blankets and scarves and hats and mittens. It takes love to buy toys for tots and coats for kids. It takes love to ring a bell by a red kettle. And it also takes love to put money in one of those red kettles. And every time we do it, people see God. It takes authentic love. Because each and every one of us can see through the mask of nicey nice love. Authentic love is different. Authentic love gives power and depth to relationships. Authentic love breaks down barriers, reaches out and raises up with dignity, and says, I will walk with you. Authentic love goes into the darkness, potentially fearful, but not afraid. To bring light and love to a dark place and never allow the darkness back. Authentic love is about forgiveness and reconciliation. Authentic love takes hard work on putting people and their lives back together again. Authentic love is God's promise to us, embodied in Jesus, who says, you are lovable because I love you. I have claimed you, and no one can stop me anymore from having you. Love is definitely God's gift to the world.